One of the main aspects to respecting a character and their situation is seeing them accept who they are, embody that persona, and really work to make the most of it. Now, in many cases, that involves a hefty amount of internal struggle, which makes complete sense. It's not easy making the large compromises to one's life that we sometimes see characters go through. But that compromise, acceptance, and growth are key components. And though the 7th episode of She-Hulk manages to kinda deliver on those notes a bit more than previous episodes, it does so in such a shallow and confused way that it makes it hard to appreciate. Let's explain why. The central storyline of this particular episode focuses on Jen coping with being ghosted by Josh, the nice guy from the wedding from last week, after multiple successful dates and one night in bed together. We see her consistently check her phone and struggle to focus on anyone or anything around her as she desperately tries to seek out answers while not coming off as overbearing. What's so wrong about that? Nothing, actually. It may not be my first choice or most desired storyline to be seen, but it is a situation many can relate to. But it's not so much the concept itself, it's the way everything plays out that falls flat here. After Emil Blonsky's house arrest device is triggered, Jen is requested to be the tag-along muscle while his parole officer checks in. And though I'm still more than suspicious on the excuse given for the device's malfunction, all turns out to be fine. But after a ridiculous feud makes her car undrivable, Jen gets stuck at Emil's superhero retreat for the day with a group of lesser-known heroes. While there, she continues to spend her time obsessing over a response from Josh, but panics more as she realizes there's no phone connection or Wi-Fi in the area. Except in one teeny spot where the heroes just so happen to be having a group therapy session. And guess who's part of the group now? One of the dorks from the wrecking crew that tried getting her blood before. Now, let's put the whole giving the guy a second chance thing to the side real quick and focus on what a missed opportunity this turns out to be on Jen's end. While she does confront him and is hesitant to believe his change of heart, at no point does she attempt to get some valuable information out of him, such as who was he working for when he attacked her? Why were they trying to get her blood in the first place? Are the other wrecking crew dorks still after her? It just seems more than reasonable that she would have taken the time to ask these questions given the fact that she's, I don't know, a lawyer whose profession it is to dissect situations like that. But instead the attention gets directed towards Jen, her love life, and her hardships of being a Hulk. After opening up about her inner turmoil, the group helps her have what appears to be some deep moment of acceptance as she turns from She-Hulk back into Jen. I say what appears to be because in reality, I think the writers think this was way better executed than it actually was. As Jen vents, she addresses the fact that she thought being She-Hulk would make things in life easier, but felt disappointed when that made her realize people might not like Jen as much as She-Hulk. So, let me get this straight. You're upset because your other persona, that you acknowledge is cooler than yourself, is cooler than yourself? I mean, I totally get it's not the greatest feeling to know a part of you isn't liked as much as another part, but when you have two extremely different forms that also act pretty different from one another, people are bound to like one more than the other. And again, she even admits to liking certain aspects of She-Hulk more, so it's kinda hard to find much sympathy here. It's like how earlier in the episode she completely dismisses her nomination for Best Female Lawyer of the Year, mostly because she's checking for messages from Josh, but based on Jen's feelings, I guess it could be argued, maybe she feels she's only getting nominated because she's She-Hulk and not Jen. But this all ties perfectly back into her group therapy speech and one of the biggest oddities of the show to me, the on and off references to herself in third person. And I get it, at times she's simply distinguishing which of her forms she's referring to, but she also speaks as if she's referring to two different people at times. She just won a goddamn court case determining she wholeheartedly identifies as She-Hulk as well as Jen. They're just two names, not two people. So that makes this whole internal conflict here come off feeling superficial. Then going back to the group helping her feel at ease with turning from She-Hulk to Jen in front of them, why is that a big deal? She walked into the place and has been there all day as Jen. I know there's the point that perhaps she was only in Hulk form to stay on the defense in case Mr. Wrecking Crew decided he was evil again, but it's not presented in that way. It's presented more as Jen feeling comfortable in her own skin in front of others, which hasn't felt like it's been much of an issue for her. Honestly, I thought the whole thing was going to turn out to be one big setup to catch Jen in a vulnerable state so they could get her blood and you'd find out they're all working for the leader. But instead we got a healthy dose of self-reflection. Then at the end we get to find out Josh indeed was just another scumbag all along, as he only slept with Jen to get some of her blood. And a creepy picture of her while she's sleeping? Was that necessary? Also, doesn't him doing that completely eradicate the buildup from the end of the last episode where they took the time to show some new dangerous super syringe next to the bent one the Wrecking Crew used? Guess they won't be needing that anymore. Anyway, Daredevil next week? Maybe? It's either that or the finale, or both. Do we want him in both? Gosh, I can't believe I'm asking that, but who knows what this show's gonna do with him. Alright, well, before you leave, just know that there's a way better chance of your next meal being delicious when you hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. I don't understand the correlation between them either, but why question it? Don't you like delicious food? Okay, bye!